Yeah, in the
Super
first
Mario
level,
Brothers 2.
I was like,
Yes.
why the hell can't I suck up this guy's powers?
Yeah, it was supposed to be Prince Fluff's, I don't know, whatever, but he was supposed to be the main character. None of the Kirby stuff was supposed to be in there, but Nintendo co-opted the game.
Yeah, no one would have cared.
I think it's more that they probably realized that a new character would never sell.
Yeah, I mean, I probably, if the game probably wouldn't have been on my radar if it wasn't a Kirby game, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't have... It would have just been in the sea of shovelware if it was Prince Fluff. I would have been like, yeah, whatever.
How do you feel about, like, the cutscenes in that game? Because I kind of feel like they're made for, like, 4-year-olds. I guess the game isn't exactly made for people my age, but I feel like the cutscenes are actually even, like, younger than the game.
Yeah, they're pretty dumb. I can you skip them? I forget if you can even skip them.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, because I remember being kind of annoyed, and then for some reason, you go through the levels, and all of a sudden, oh, you found a couch.
Yes.
Good.
No, have you can go into Kirby's apartment and place couches and chandeliers everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's cool.
That's it.
I don't care where Kirby
you
lives.
You can't even interact with them.
No, you have to. You can just put them in like one or two places. I found a chair, and Kirby was able to sit on it.
Oh, really? Okay. I guess I haven't played around with the feature enough.
And by sit, maybe I just mean jump on it and stay. Maybe it's not even proper sitting, but...
Oh, the co-op mode is a lot of fun. It kind of has the new Super Mario Brothers Wii aspect of, whoops, we just killed each other again, kind of thing, where I'm trying to hit an enemy and I'll accidentally whip my girlfriend and then pick her up and throw her down a cliff by mistake. No, it's fun. I like it.
Well, as long as I don't have to like wiggle my arms around every time I want to jump or something like New Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, you only had to wiggle when you wanted to do a super fancy jump, not when you had to do a standard jump.
Actually, what I constantly did is, like, I would kind of be, like, wiggling my leg or something, and I'd be resting my arm on my leg, and I'd be like, why am I flipping out?
Oh, my brother has the constant problem with that game that his left thumb keeps sliding over from the D-pad to the A button. So he keeps... And the A button in the new Super Mario Bros. Wii, for those who don't know... it puts your character into a bubble, and then you cannot escape from this bubble until one of the other people rescues you. But the problem is that if everyone else in the game is dead, and it's just the one guy trying to beat the level before he dies and we have to restart, if he goes into a bubble, that's it. So it happened with us several times where we'd all be dead and going, "Come on, Dan, you can do it, go, Dan." And then he'd push the A button and the game would be over.
He didn't like it. He thought it was not very funny.
I would play that game with my wife, but I found every time we both try to jump over a pit, one of us jumps into the other one's feet. And we just stopped like 3 levels into it because we realized that's a divorce maker. I'm not even going to bother.
I've been having a lot of fun playing that with my dad and my brothers. It's a fun game.
We agreed to play it alone only.
Do any of you know the game Dokapon Kingdom?
Oh, yes. Is that the RPG Mario Party mishmash?
Yeah, pretty much. But
yeah.
I just like that on the back of the box it says something about, like, this game is the friendship killer. Because, yeah, like, it specifically makes you want to hate your friends.
Well, for that matter, let's bring up, what was it, The Adventure of Cookies and Cream? That co-op that I think it was Michael Ridgway and Vanjie Rich, ex-Rich, were talking about on GameCola once upon a time.
Never heard of it.
Like... months ago.
That was Sprite Monkey, I think. Or Sprite Monkey did
What?
talk about it. I'm pretty sure he reviewed it at some point, but maybe Mike did also.
Well,
anyway, yeah, isn't that the game where it's split down the middle, one person's on the left, one person's on the right, and each person has to solve different obstacles on their own side in order for both participants to progress in the game, I think?
Judging from the screenshots, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't played it, though.
I haven't either. I think Lizzo actually has it.
It looks interesting.
Do you think it would look more interesting if it was in 3D?
It very well could. You could see right down those 2 separate corridors.
Yeah,
Actually,
that could work.
Actually, speaking of that, brings to mind something that I was thinking about earlier. Talking about 3D games. Bringing it back on topic somehow.
It was all part of our plan.
I'm just imagining, like, I can totally see them with all the Guitar Heroes that they keep coming out with or whatever, having a Guitar Hero in 3D where the little, like, guitar bar thing that's coming at you is actually coming out at you.
Oh, man, that's going to be one of, like, the first games they make, isn't it?
Right? But, I mean, you just know that every game, like, all of the first 3D games are just going to be like, whoa, I'm pointing at you, it's coming at you, oh no!
Yeah, it's going to have that juvenile, just starting out kind of thing.
It's going to be a lot of, like, throwing stuff at you, or, stabbing you.
That'll be great if they do that with Rock Band, though, because then I'll have an excuse for sucking. I'd just be like, oh, the 3D was blurry. It certainly wasn't my rhythm.
Oh, I dropped my glasses. There aren't any glasses with this. I dropped them. I can't see the notes. Well, that's why I can't see the notes. I don't have my glasses. How about holographic video games? Is that like the same thing? Or would that be the same thing if such a thing existed, besides the arcade game we talked about?
Sure.
Yeah, well, let's talk a bit about...
Or like virtual reality.
Yeah, whatever happened to, remember the movie Lawnmower Man?
Yeah.
Right?
I was just going to mention that one.
Yeah,
because really that's the only one about virtual reality that's worth anything.
I just remember the whole concept of, you're wearing the big headset thing, and you're, swinging around a stick, and it's like, whoa, you're actually, in the game, dude.
I remember at the time when that was getting kind of popular, my parents owned a video store,
yeah.
And my dad was like, oh, God, we're out of business for sure. Virtual reality's going to take us over. It didn't.
I'm so sad. Because, see, where potentially could 3D games go? Will we one day... Well, for those who have watched Star Trek The Next Generation,
Hi!
They have the holodeck, right?
Yes.
So, are we going to move from 3D in a little box that you have a little slider going in and out? Is it going to then become, like you were saying, like holograms, where it's actually up in place and then potentially in the future fully immersive, whatever?
Well, aside from the fact that there's lots of technological hurdles to pass through before holodeck technology could even potentially become a reality anywhere near what it's like on Star Trek.
Yawn.
Yeah. Aside from that, I think we're going to be wearing headsets and funny shirts with little glowing balls attached to the joints for a while.
Oh, but look at the Kinect or whatever. That's doing motion capture without whatever.
Oh, you're totally right. The future is now.
Where are my flying cars?
Still waiting on those.
Hoverboard?
Obviously, we have our priorities out of order. Well, that's motion recognition. That's not exactly holograms.
Yeah, well, I mean, from what I know, basically, you can trick the machine. If you put your arms together or something, it'll, mix up what's what.
Sure.
Because it can't actually...
I know my cousin played that dance game with his dong. Just throwing that out there.
What?
I don't know, he got the Kinect, and he told me just to spice things up, he just stripped naked. He wanted to see if it would recognize his dong. And it did.
What did it recognize it as?
Well, it didn't pop on the screen say, oh, dong. But apparently there's something where there's this, aura that covers your body, and things that aren't, on the screen, things that aren't moving or anything are blue, and things that are moving are yellow, and he had yellow in a distinct area, flopping around.
Yikes.
There you go. You can end the podcast on that if you want.
We can end the podcast a little bit before that, too.
Wow. Yeah, because, actually, I might have mentioned this in the podcast before, that I took a class on robot vision. Some of the stuff that they talked about, granted that this was also, at least 3 years ago, and they were talking about, how difficult it is to do, facial recognition. They had one thing that was recognizing hand signs, sign language, and, other stuff about, trying to control stuff, okay, I'm making a grabbing motion, so that's, I'm clicking and dragging or whatever, and trying to control the computer with your hands. And, it was just interesting because, if you put two fingers together, it would be like, oh, well, that's just one finger, where are the rest?
Yeah.
It had trouble recognizing stuff if it, crossed paths with each other. So I can only imagine.
Yeah, and I'd bet things like the Kinect probably don't get that in depth where it says put one finger out. And...
Well, like,
and do this. It probably doesn't get down to the fingers.
Well,
It's probably for that reason.
I just imagine that, like, if you were to cross your arms and have them, like, going out on the other side of your body, that it would be like, oh, that's your left arm and your right arm, and rather than being like, oh, you crossed your arms.
I see that you are horribly deformed.
You have very stubby arms. No elbows.
But on the bright side, maybe it gives you like a handicap in some games.
Yes.
It turns on ultra easy mode for what it perceives to be as a cripple.
I don't know that the games are that advanced. Although apparently the Kinect is able to sense things like if you're wearing a specific sports jersey for the purposes of targeted advertising, it can tell like what team is on your jersey. I think I was
Oh,
reading.
that's creepy.
Yeah, it can like sense like logos. I don't know. I might be misinterpreting the article I wrote, but it seemed to be saying that yeah, it can sense things in your environment and then provide targeted advertising based on that.
Weird.
Like, going back a bit, I wonder if like skirts and stuff or like baggy clothes or something would like mess the thing up. Because if you're wearing a long skirt, Christian Porter like you normally do.
I often do.
Then it would be like, whoa, you have one humongous leg. Right?
Well, I mean,
I think
that's how you end up in...
my cousin. He was very, very generous.
As he was, oh, yikes. I get it now. It took me a second, but now I get it. Yes, the three-legged man.
So I think maybe the next video that we upload should be some kind of like Kinect Mythbusters.
Does anyone...
What myth do you want to bust?
Well, if you wear a skirt, will it count as just one big leg?
Does anyone in GameCola own a Kinect?
Or a skirt?
Matt Jonas, I believe.
I know he was scrounging up to get
Yeah.
a Kinect, so I don't know if he actually got one.
Well, everyone, I think that just about wraps up our discussion on 3D games.
And other things.
Yeah, amongst other
And
things.
many other things. As per the norm for the GameCola podcast, that's what you can come to expect from us, is not a lot of staying on topic.
A GameCola Tangent Cast.
Yes. Can we call it that now? then no one can complain.
Well, see, maybe instead of calling it the GameCola podcast, we'll just call all of them the GameCola Off-Topic Podcast.
Then we'll never get in trouble.
Right? But, yes. I have been Alex Jedraszczak, the Jetty, as always.
I think you mispronounced your last name.
You have a point, Nathaniel.
Yes, and I'm Nathaniel Hoover.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Christian Porter.
Porter.
Portier.
Wait, Paul Franzen?
I'm Paul, and I don't want anyone to pronounce my name in a silly fashion.
Paul Franzen.
You're fired.
Anyway, this has been GameCola Podcast number 33. Everyone, thank you for coming.
You're welcome. I mean,
Thank you for hosting.
Anyway, that's it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
If this is still on the actual podcast, stop listening now.